Hey y'all, I'm Liz.
And I'm Colleen.
And this is Mystic Midlife. And we are actually recording this the day before Mother's Day.
You guys will get it about a week later.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are, our focus is around divine feminine, a continuation of our beliefs, and kind of our thought process on the divine feminine and the importance of that in today.
Well, yeah, I got my Florence and the Machine dress on too. So just went and saw her last week here in Nashville, which it was, as usual, the most amazing concert I've ever been to.
Had to have been.
Definitely bringing more of a focus after our last podcast about how we feel from a spiritual perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And also kind of taking a look at nostalgia too, because like I was just talking about with you, this whole movement towards more of a female-based spirituality, though it was coming to the forefront back in the 60s and that kind of stuff. In the 90s was where you start seeing that move towards those witchy movies like Practical Magic and The Craft.
Yes.
And those kinds of things.
Charmed.
Yes. Your generation loved sitting and watching Charmed. My daughter, she watched every single episode of that. So basically, I do feel like that dropped off for a while. And now we've got this new phase coming in where people are starting to understand how important the female divinity is, female creativity. That we are portals for life and creativity.
Yes.
And a very important part of that. And that doesn't in any way denigrate the masculine side.
Not at all. Not at all.
You need both.
Both people need both.
Have to be, but we do carry that within us. So we wanted to go into that a little bit more, where that falls for each of us. When did you start really noticing this in your life? As far as like, how old were you when this first started coming down for you?
I think, well, for me, being a millennial, there was like, we had all of that growing up, and we had that strong female, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and like I said, Charmed, and all of The Craft, all of those movies and shows and stuff. And then there was that whole like boss babe movement where there was such a push for us to really, I think, take ownership of our masculine energy,
be more masculine,
and just achieve so much more, and really push through things. And I think like I know a lot of friends that I think as a result of doing that, a lot of us have autoimmune diseases and disorders.
Like, it was too much.
And it was, just keep pushing forward. Stress yourself out, stress your body out. I mean, most of my 20s, I slept maybe 4 hours a day and was going nonstop. I went to school full time. I, had jobs. I also had, the hair business it was too much. And I think that then we've started having this shift towards more of that feminine. And I think a lot of us have, like, I've been focused on healing that since my late 20s, and really taking a step back and examining every part of that, and really like healing my relationship with the masculine, like actual men in general, and like how I felt about men because of how I was conditioned and what I experienced as a child, with fathers, and as a young girl with boys.
And like we said before, what you saw in media, what you saw on television, what you read in books.
Yeah.
Completely different than now. To
yeah.
some extent. Yeah.
And I think that time in my 20s, I remember like the relationship I was in for most of my 20s. Like I remember when we first started dating, like he was really sweet to me, and he, was very giving. And me and my own, I guess, distorted energy, I was like, I don't need flowers. Like, yeah, I'm like, please. But like, and I did say that, and it was like, oh, I can open my own door. And it's like, you know what? That was the time that it wasn't healthy. And so I think seeing now, especially this last decade,
I think we no longer think that we are allowed to accept reverential behavior and respectful behavior.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I think very much from the feminism movement from the 1960s on, et cetera, you know, it became this thing of, if we're truly equals, none of that stuff should happen. You don't want a guy walking up and opening the door for you, or, you know, for instance, paying for things on dates, those kinds of things. So we moved completely out of the realm of what men feel good doing in relationship. And we're like, no, I'll do that myself.
Yeah.
In a sense, like we were just saying, masculinizing ourselves. And you know how I always love to use bell curves.
Yes.
To explain everything. I really do feel like when you're looking at femininity, it's always on a bell curve. You have your people, you know, down on one side that are females that only show female traits, feminine traits.
Yeah.
And don't seem to have any of that masculinity in them. And then you have your women that are all the way down at the other end of that curve that are mostly masculine traits. And then most people fall somewhere in the middle where the hump is, that, you know, they've got some of each thing. And I think maybe we went too far.
I think there's now, because there has been so much more.
And we're not talking from a rights perspective.
No.
I'm just talking what naturally we manifest. Energy, personality, what we provide to the world, what we provide to the people that we love, what we provide at work, those kinds of things. Oftentimes it's different from men. It's okay.
Yeah. Well,
we provide just as important things. It's just different.
It's just different. Yes. And I think that there's that baseline of who people would be untouched, uninfluenced, where they would fall within that curve.
Yeah.
I do also think.
And at different times of life too.
Yes. And I do also think, because there's been such a strong push for like the trad wife movement type thing, which
so then people are like, ooh, wait a minute.
Well,
I still want to have that career, or I still want to do this. So don't take us back 100 or 200 years.
Yeah.
In that respect.
Well,
but there's also some positive things. Some of those women have made that choice and really are loving and enjoying it.
Yes. And so I think
then some of us are judging them.
Well, and I
not
think,
right either way.
No. And I think though, that aspect, I think it, no matter what, if you're pushed to either extreme, the ultimate goal is to be in that center space of like that full integration of both your masculine and your feminine. That, and like, that's the yin and yang.
Yep.
That is the harmony that both men and women are supposed to have, because men carry both the divine masculine and divine feminine within them energetically, and some are one extreme or the other.
Yeah.
And so I think the ultimate goal for all of us is to be closer to that center, ideally, I think.
Maybe to some extent, but like I said, it's very personality driven.
Also that, or what's important to someone. And like those who are more creative are going to automatically lean more into their feminine, because they're that womb energy, that creative energy is so much stronger in them. But I also think those that are too far in their masculine have lost that connection.
Yep.
And that's where it's like, you gotta find that in between.
Yeah. Well, and I know I've talked to you about this before. I really do feel like women are portals.
Yes.
So, especially when I was at the concert, sorry, I'm going to use some comparisons with Miss Florence here, just because if you listen to this last album, it's very much based on the fact that a few years ago, she was on tour, she was performing, and while she was performing, she had an ectopic pregnancy burst and almost died on stage, but kept pushing to complete her performance. They got her to the hospital, they figured out what was going on, but she almost died. So not only was she having a reproductive experience, she was having a near-death experience on top of it. And so much of this album is those two different aspects clashing with each other, and her rediscovering her power as a person, and that acting in perfection and always doing what everybody wants you to be doing, acting appropriately in their eyes doesn't necessarily get you anywhere. That being normal and appearing normal to everybody else is not the route to go in a lot of cases. And so it just really hit me, that album, and I'm sure it did for a lot of people, hit a lot of people very hard, because it's that acknowledgement of life and death. And what do we really want as women during this life cycle? Because we'll be gone at some point. I've talked to, oops, you guys, hold on a minute. I did a no, that's going to show up. All right. Should have put that in airplane mode. And we ain't editing it.
No,
because we've already talked to you guys about this before. I am, for the majority of my nursing career, I've been involved in hospice and palliative care. But then prior to that, for many years, I worked in women's health. And I believe that they intersect. That death supportal, birth supportal. I have been with many, many people as they died, and it's been a beautiful experience. And you feel like a midwife of sorts. You're helping them go on their journey into the next life. And it does make you very spiritual. You see things oftentimes as a hospice nurse that you're like, oh yeah, there's something else going on out there. There's something there. And then recently watching my daughter give birth, it was terrifying. It is still something that is dangerous. It's beautiful, but it's still dangerous. And just connecting those two, women aren't, of course, just portals for birth. They're portals for creativity. We bring things over from the other side through ourselves. So I just went off on a...
but it's all part of it.
Yeah.
Another thing too, this is something that I've realized in past relationships and with partners. And this is something that I talked about a year ago. I went to like a women's retreat. We were talking about womb healing and things like that. And I brought up, and most of the women in that room, I think almost every single woman in that room, minus maybe two of us, were married. And something that I've noticed, that when being intimate with a partner, because we are the receiver, after that experience, I tend to feel whatever emotions that they're carrying, because we then take it on energetically, and we have the ability to transmute it.
Oh yeah, it's a big thing when you look for ancient temple priestesses transmuting energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I think a lot of...
But that can be stressful as well.
Also, and that's the thing, is like, okay, this is not my energy. Why am I feeling this way? I did not feel this way prior to. And so that's another thing, as far as like being very cognizant and mindful about who you're exchanging energy with, because you will take on that energy, whether you want to or not. And that's something that, and a lot of women end up having issues. Like if their partner is in a really dark space, like they might end up having
health
yeast
issues of some sort,
anything, or
anything that
UTIs.
sets off the balance of the...
Yeah, because the energy is so off balance. So that's something that I think we have, like you were saying, like it's these portals, but it's also a portal to then transmute the energy, because that is what we are capable of.
Yes.
That is part of our essence.
Yeah, and it's powerful.
It is powerful.
It's not meant to say that you're just like some receptacle here.
Yeah. Give me your energy.
Taking what energy, but I really do feel like we have moved away, probably for at least a couple of thousand years, from that reverence, that respect for what women are capable of.
Yeah. That was possibly by
manifestation.
The O method.
Yeah. Yes.
That's something that can definitely be utilized for manifestation. There's a lot that I think divine feminine energy.
We nurture, we heal.
Yes.
That was usually our area. You know, if you look back from a perspective of birth givers, you know, you had your midwives that would come in and handle the situation. And then about 400 years ago, that turned into something that only the male doctors were supposed to attend. And now we're moving back into making it more of that female realm.
Yes.
For delivery.
Yes.
And that kind of thing. So I'm talking from a healthcare perspective. But I also do feel like from a spiritual perspective, it's becoming more and more acceptable to bring the feminine into it, even in Christianity. Been talking about that quite a bit lately. This whole discovery that, hey, maybe the Christian church, as the way it's functioning 300 years after Jesus was around, isn't quite what was being taught. Mm-hmm. Women were more involved in this early on. Mary mm-hmm. Magdalene, early proto-Christians mm-hmm. went out and spread the word together in couples, which a lot of people don't realize that. Yeah. So women were very important there too. So having both sides in the recipe is very important. Yeah. And I think it's starting to surface slowly.
Well, and I think that as far as there's a lot of, like, in the healing spirit, women have gone first. Mm-hmm. And I think that while it's annoying, at times, yeah. I think it is one of those where it's like, we can show them the way. Mm-hmm. And I think that,
especially with alternative healing methods, massage therapy, herbalism, those kinds of things.
Absolutely. And kind of doing the groundwork. More female led. And I think doing the groundwork and setting that up. But I think there can always be, to a certain extent, of toxicity or toxic femininity or toxic mm-hmm. whatever. And so it's a matter of figuring out where that balance is and doing our part and us getting back to where we can be in a really healthy integration within ourselves, and then lead the way for the masculine energy, and the masculine, or just the men mm-hmm. can then be like, oh, okay. And there is a movement for that too. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes that is also, like, there can be toxic spirituality.
Oh yeah.
And things can be used in ways and can be bastardized and
for control purposes.
And in any form.
Yeah.
So I think we have to be careful with that as well within mm-hmm. the divine sphere yes. of things and divine spirituality of things. Yes.
But I mean, you've even seen some of the more pagan movements or the yogic movements of late, where all of a sudden we're finding out later on that there's some guru that was sexually abusing
yes.
women or doing that kind of thing. It's going to happen in any sphere.
Yes.
And I'm sure that there are also women that have been involved that have done inappropriate things as well.
Yes, because human nature.
Yeah, human nature. And sometimes people aren't great folks. They have a facade up. They have all of this knowledge. They want to be a guru. They want to lead a group of people. They may very well have narcissistic personality disorder and want to start a cult.
Yeah.
You got to be very careful with those. But I'm going down another route here once again, but
which is fine because it's all part of it. But
nobody is perfect.
No one's perfect. I do think though
balance is what we're looking for.
Balance is what we're looking for, and really getting, I think, clear individually for each woman, gay, straight, otherwise, whatever. Mm-hmm. If like figuring out your own divine essence, mm-hmm. getting really clear within your own vessel and intimately knowing yourself in that spiritual way.
Wouldn't you say that comes as you age though too?
I think, yeah.
I really don't see a lot of people in their 20s and 30s. We're still searching so many different things. A lot of us may also, for instance, be having children, and therefore all of your energy, everything is going into your kids.
Yeah.
Or everything is going into your career, or everything is going into your schooling at the time. And as you get older and you hit your 40s and your 50s, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is who I really am. Now I'm getting to get to know myself. And, oh, I like myself. Oh, I can sit alone in a room for a while with myself, those kinds of things. But yeah.
And I think that's bringing up the whole giving birth in those times. Mm-hmm. Now, as someone who has not actually given birth to a child, I have birth businesses. Mm-hmm. And I saw a post on Instagram a woman was talking about her reasons for choosing to be child free. And then there was a woman that had commented, because of course I'm like, I want to see the comments.
Yes, the comments are the most entertaining part.
Absolutely. And this woman made mention of the fact that giving birth to children, like having babies, is an initiation. In and of itself. And
you're this close to death the entire time. I know that sounds stupid. Not only are you close to giving new life, but you're close to something horrific happening too.
Yeah. And
that changes your brain.
Absolutely. And they have talked about that as far as like the before and after, as far as women's brains and how they change. I wonder though, because my thought of that was, and her whole point was that it was a necessary initiation into like being a female and being a woman and stuff like that. And I'm like,
but there's always been women that don't give birth that are still like, okay, what about your temple priestesses that maybe never had children, that are still leaders, that still have all this wisdom to give, that still have all of this intelligence to pass around to everybody around them. There's always going to be different facets of womanhood.
Yes.
And there's not like some magical thing of, oh, you gave birth and all of a sudden you hold the golden ticket.
Yeah. Well, and I think
there's other ways to give birth is what you're saying.
Yes. Thank you. That's exactly. Yes. And so it's like, there's still an initiation and your brain can still change in a way. It may not look exactly the same, but it doesn't take away from the fact that you also have had an initiation and have learned to know yourself more deeply. And typically, like, I find for myself, a lot of people are like, oh, you'd be a great mom. I never said I wouldn't be.
You're just not particularly interested.
I'm just not interested anymore. And I am an auntie and, godmother to sweet angels. And
I think there's plenty of women that have given birth too and gave birth from the biological perspective, but had absolutely no change. In how they felt, or maybe still continued inappropriate behaviors, things that hurt their children, hurt themselves, etc.
Absolutely.
So just because you gave birth, like I said, it's not this magical golden ticket to spirituality, but it can be. It can be a tool.
It can absolutely be a tool.
It can be a tool, but so can psychedelics. So can therapy.
Yes.
So can congregating with large groups of women.
Yes.
That have a like-minded view of spirituality, the universe, etc. There's all these different routes that we can take.
And it doesn't take away from anyone.
That's the main thing is I'd really love to see people stop judging the choices that other women make.
Yes. Oh gosh, yes.
So I mean, like, if you want to be a trad wife,
cool. You do you, boo.
And you really truly enjoy that, and that's been your lifelong dream, and you don't want to work at a job, and you want to have as many possible kids as you can during your lifetime because that is what truly brings you joy, then all of us as women need to stand together and go like, do you, girl? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then if our other friend is like, oh my God, I hate kids.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
And I want to go to the gym at 4 a.m. and I want to travel throughout Europe, or I want to build this giant company. We need to be like, yeah, you go, girl. You do your thing, or just have a normal life where you've got a normal size family, a small family. You're also working a job. We all need to support those women.
Well, and
no matter what decisions they're making.
Agreed. I wonder too, and this is something that, like, obviously we've said trad wife a couple times, and we have that kind of encompassing.
I follow a few on Instagram.
Yeah.
I want to know how they're making their sourdough.
Also, yes, absolutely. Here's the thing though.
Canning their pickles. Stuff I wish I would have learned from my grandma.
Well, I wonder though that if sometimes labels are also unhelpful because that does encompass one specific, because you hear trad wife, you assume that woman is a particular way, but who's to say she is?
I feel like we've been heavily manipulated into labeling everybody. It's a good way of dividing everybody up.
Yes. And that's one of the, like, my cousin, she's
the best possible thing you can do is divide up a culture. Make everybody hate everybody else.
Right? Which is terrible. My cousin, she's
easier to control.
She's incredible. She's an amazing mom. She's a stay-at-home mom. She did have a wonderful career. She's wanted to be a mom since we were like little.
Yeah.
She is, her views are different than the rest of the family in a lot of ways, but she still does that. Like, she's a very
I was a stay-at-home mom for many years.
Yeah.
Thankfully, gratefully, my ex-husband wanted me to be able to stay home with the kids when they were little. Yeah. And also it made sense from a financial perspective. And I'm sure there's a lot of women now that are just really just completely frustrated because you can't even afford childcare now half the time. Sometimes it's not. I think that's why our birth rates have decreased so much. People can't afford the childcare. Yeah. They still have to have both parents working. You can't afford a house anymore. You can't afford a car anymore. And unfortunately, there's still some older generations that go, oh, well, they're just not working as hard as I did. That is totally not the case. Mm-mm. Things are exponentially more expensive, and our rates of pay have not gone up with those.
No, they haven't.
By any standard. So what do they expect the younger generation to do? Yeah. Yeah, and we've had that discussion, I know, before here when we were talking in the first couple of episodes about how different it is for Gen Z and for millennials.
Yeah. And so that's one of those things, though, like, we're allowed to be different. We're allowed to be a robust human. We're allowed to be multiple things at once. Mm-hmm. Just because you're a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean you also have a specific viewpoint. Mm-hmm. Just because you are out doing X, Y, and Z doesn't mean you have a specific viewpoint. Like, I feel as if we have, like you said, we've become label whores. Mm-hmm. And like,
not just as a society, not just in this sphere, but we do it with religion, we do it with politics, we do it with
you can be a
race,
Christian and
we
liberal.
Do it. Yes.
You can be agnostic and be conservative. Like, you can be a multifaceted human being. Mm-hmm. And especially for women, because we are so robust.
Yeah. I feel like there really is a goal, and I'm not going to say the unknown they, because I feel like it's this way, and it has been throughout history. In order for us to be manipulated as a society and be channeled kind of like cattle, the best way to do that is to divide. Mm-hmm. That way everybody's always fighting against each other. Yeah. And they've done that with men and women.
Also.
Big time.
Also.
So, and when I say they, it's from multiple different sides. It's from both sides, y'all. Let's just put it that way.
It's
trying to blame one side for everything that's been going on for the past couple hundred years is just completely stupid.
Because it flip-flops every single time. It's just, it is.
And that's not even going into political stuff there. No. It's just very frustrating that everybody still doesn't quite see that, hey, we need to stop being so easily manipulated. Mm-hmm. Financially. Think about it. When we shop, there's certain music being played. There's things being piped in certain scents. We're constantly being manipulated. And if we can just take a step back.
Again.
And center on ourselves. Yeah. And we've talked about that multiple times. Take a look at our own behaviors. Yeah. I'm sitting here saying all this, and then I might go later on tonight and order something off Amazon.
Because we are human.
But I see it. That's the important part. Yeah. I see the problem. I see the manipulation. And that's the first step.
Yeah. And just, again, acknowledging within ourselves what truly is important to us. Mm-hmm. Looking at our own divine essence. Mm-hmm. And realizing that, like, because the divine feminine, people are like, oh, she's so soft. If you look at feminine in nature, just
look at a bunch of the different goddesses that are out there. Kali. Yeah. Or thinking about if we're talking about it from a dual dynamic perspective, Isis and Osiris, how she, after Osiris had been killed and cut up into multiple pieces by their brother and thrown to all these different areas of the world, she was the one that went on the adventures and collected him back together and basically healed and recreated and resurrected him. Very similar to kind of the story of Jesus Christ, if you think about it. There's so many of these stories that are so similar. And then, of course, conceived their son Horus. That's just the Egyptian mythology side. Then we can go into the Greek myths, the Celtic myths. Yeah. so many similar things where it shows how strong and powerful and creative and healing and just dynamic in general women can be.
And
with their creative force.
And divine feminine energy can also be destructive when necessary.
And wisdom.
And wisdom. And all of that. And protective.
Yes.
Protective.
Mama bear energy.
Oh my gosh. Mama bears, lioness. A lioness, just they actually run the herd. They do
the hunting and all
that. They do the hunting.
Yeah.
Like,
though I do think from a human perspective that is what a lot of men are missing out on right now. That protective, providing quality that I really do feel like a lot of men, it really makes them feel good about themselves when they know that they're caring for others and taking care of the tribe and the herd.
So there's also that the lack of initiation. There's a lack of showing the devotion that, because that's what it is. It's like,
you got to show your kids by how you treat your wife.
Yes.
And the reverence. I saw a great video the other day where this guy is, of course, a woman taping it on Instagram, but she was secretly hiding around the corner, and her son had said something offensive to her, and the dad was in the other room, and he's like, "You do not speak to my wife that way."
Yeah.
He's like, "I love you. I know you made a mistake. I want you to go in and apologize and do it sincerely, but you do not ever speak to my wife that way. She runs everything in this home. She protects you. She feeds you. She gave birth to you. Do not ever think that you can talk to her that way again." And I do think that we're missing that in a lot of homes.
I think we're missing that in society.
Yeah, in society in general.
And that's something that, like, I've seen later in life now, like with my dad and my stepmom and my stepdad and my mom, and how devoted the men are to them. And it is something that,
and it goes both ways.
It goes, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But seeing that has been very eye-opening for me. And
so it shows it's possible.
Exactly. And
that should make you feel good.
That's something that I think, I mean, I wish I had seen that because of like relationships and whatever. Wish I had been exposed to that at a younger age than I am now. But that has definitely changed my brain in understanding the importance of a partner, and how also seeing men who have control of themselves and have goals and have that purpose and live a purpose-driven life, and whatever that purpose is, have drive and are capable of operating outside of their, I don't know, their distorted urges or their whatever society.
I like a good distorted urge sometime. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, we all do, but like those that on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Like you look at some of the guys. I know a lot of my girlfriends have had frustrations, and I've even had frustrations with like guys you've been involved with who their following list, who they're like on Instagram, and you're just like, dude, the fuck? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I have actually had a few male friends, for instance, that are on my Instagram who maybe at different times have tried to start dating or something like that. And I'm sitting there thinking, dude, I've seen the stuff you're liking on Instagram, because you know how it pops up on your feed, and I'm just like, no, I think I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah. So then that's the whole thing is like, that's where it's like the extracting and the siphoning of divine feminine energy versus being in devotion to divine feminine energy.
Yeah.
And I think that, and then there's the whole side of for the divine feminine to feel truly safe and to fully express,
feel comfortable giving all of her power.
Yes.
Bringing it all forward.
Yes. And really utilizing those to create an incredible life for within the partnership or whatever. And the protection and the love and the care and everything. How can you do that if that's what's coming at you?
Or how can you do that if you're ending up responsible for literally taking care of everything?
Yes.
Every facet of it.
Every facet.
Yeah. There's God, I'm going into Florence and the Machine again, you guys. Okay, but there's a song called You Can Have It All.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically saying, no, you can't.
Oh.
Not no you can't, but just the destructive behaviors and the thoughts that we have in our head that sometimes sabotage us.
Okay, yeah.
And how we can think that if we act a certain way, everything's going to come together perfectly and we can have everything we possibly want. But the main important thing is that, you know what, it's pretty damn stressful if not only are you wanting to have kids, but you're also working a full-time job trying to create a career, and then you come home and you're the only one responsible for cooking and cleaning and also holding all of the emotional weight within the family and making all the decisions and driving to all of the kids' games and doing all that. And it's a known fact, there have been studies done, there is not a good division of labor now that both men and women are working. The women still hold the responsibility for the majority of the labor and the emotional labor within a family.
The vast majority of the time.
So at what point do we kind of go, wait a minute, there's got to be some true equality.
Yeah.
In the amount of effort that we put out and
balance.
Do stuff. That there's got to be balance.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we keep going in these extremes. We have these huge swings side to side and we never quite reach that balance point where literally everybody feels supported and happy.
I think that's where the lack of devotion comes in.
Yeah. Probably.
I think that's where there's not, because I have seen where
people get resentful if they feel like they're being mothered. If your husband feels like he's being mothered, that's going to not create the greatest romantic relationship anymore.
Well, and it comes from the lack of devotion. It comes from the lack of knowing oneself.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of it's a lot of the time it's people entering into karmic relationships and making those their only relationship instead of utilizing for what it is. And then they start families within those relationships. Mm-hmm. And so, but they don't know themselves yet.
Yeah.
But I think that's it can be good. It can.
I 100% believe that is why my marriage failed.
Okay.
Is because we got married so young and we hadn't truly developed our personalities yet. Heck, we got married so young that our frontal lobe hadn't even formed yet. Okay. So
before, what was it? Before 23?
I was 19 when I got married, only for a couple weeks. Like we got married a few weeks before my 20th birthday and had my first child at 22, my second child at 24. But I look back now and I'm like, I am so lucky that I did not kill those children, that I took care of them appropriately. Like your brain is not functioning. Most people are partying and going to college then. Yes. Yes.
That's what I did.
So that's why I act a little wild now because I'm making up for it. But yeah, 100%. I don't think your 20s is the time to be figuring out this stuff. Hopefully by the end of your 20s, you hit 26, 27. They say that's the magic time when that frontal lobe is finally set in place, set in stone, and you can start really understanding your personality and understanding who you're going to become.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right on that.
I think
that it all comes down to each person involved.
Everyone individually, yeah,
has to really understand themselves and not take themselves too seriously. It's about not being too egotistical and thinking that you're right all the time and that everybody else around you is wrong. Oh boy, did I have a problem with that.
I think we all have had I did.
The ego is so strong.
Well, but also the ego is necessary.
Yes.
So I think that there's, and I think that maybe that's the point of your 20s. Mm-hmm. That maybe like really doing that shit in your 20s is important, and then in your 30s you're like, okay, let's figure this out.
Yeah,
like maybe this is not the way.
Maybe I shouldn't party every night. Maybe I shouldn't do this.
Yeah,
or shouldn't do that.
Or maybe there's some times that I was wrong, or maybe I need to re-examine this behavior, or figure where does this behavior come from? What does it stem from? And then in your 40s now, because I'm about to be 40, and
in a few days.
Yes. And I feel like my life is actually just beginning.
Yep.
Because I'm like, oh, I've done all the research and development. I've done the stupid shit. I've learned from it. I've examined it. I've healed a lot of stuff. And now I'm like, oh, I can move forward fresh and clean.
Yeah. And on an end note for everybody too, that's how I feel about my 50s.
Amazing.
Yeah. because I'll be 53 this year. I think I said on the first podcast that I was 53. It's like I'm always counting the year ahead.
I mean, okay,
but I'll be 53 in September, and I feel like I have so much more freedom and knowledge about myself now in my 50s than I ever did when I was younger. Yeah. So much more confidence. But also there's that edge to not giving a crap what anybody thinks about you. That's the, like,
I've gotten rid of a lot of those.
I mean, everybody still has it. Let's be real.
To a certain extent,
let's be real.
But not as much.
I'll still be like, does this dress look okay? Do I look pretty? Tell me I'm pretty. Those kinds of things. But yeah, I think that is something that comes with age, and definitely discovering the actual divine feminine inside of you. Yeah. Is something
the healthy
divine feminine inside of you. I've worked through some other goddesses that I shouldn't be too proud about when I was in my 20s and 30s.
Look, but I think it's all important.
Some archetypes, as we like to call them.
Yes. Ooh, there was a book. So I took a women's psychology class in college, and there was a book, and I'm going to have to do some research to figure out what it was, but our final project was based on the book, because you had to take a test at the end to figure out what your divine
your divine archetype is.
Yeah, your feminine archetypes. And it gives you like your main one and then your two others.
And that would change with age.
Which I would imagine. But God, that class was so incredible. And I learned so much. Christine Wood was the instructor.
Okay.
Just fucking cool ass woman. Just so rad. She birthed her babies at home. She changed my view on so many things about being a woman. And oh my God, it was incredible. But that book, I wanna figure out what
figure it out, because we'll bring it up. Yeah. I guarantee you guys there's going to be multiple podcasts that kind of center on these issues. And yeah, we're going to get into even the more woo-woo stuff. My experiences back in the 90s with the pagan community out in California. I have some really fun stories about that. And how things have changed, I really do feel, over the years since then. We'll also be talking, we of course want to get into astrology.
Of course we want to, but also like our woo-woo practices.
Yes, like the things that we do.
That we personally do on a regular basis that help us connect more with our spirituality and like that side of things.
Yeah, and the art of it, the music of it. Yes, all of those wonderful, warm, fuzzy, yummy, creative female things that we've been into over the years.
Also, side note, before we're done, I do want to just say though, you considering yourself already 53 is actually not wrong, because you're already in your 53rd year.
I'm in my 53rd year.
Yeah. So, and I'm technically...
See, I'm always right.
I'm already in my 40th year. I'm just going to celebrate the end of it.
Yes.
And then begin my 41st.
Yes.
So yeah, so you were not wrong at all.
Okay. Well, this is for proof that I know everything. Just ask my boyfriend. But anyways, so next time we'll hopefully bring, because I know you guys, we go off in these weird directions. Start at one topic and then go.
But also the goal is for you guys to also just think. Like I love to ponder on ideas and thoughts, and so that's kind of our musings are to help you, because we don't have.
This is just like our conversations that we have in person.
Literally,
that we go off on tangents.
Yes.
But we really, really do want you guys to start talking about things. Get in the comments, even if you think that you might offend us.
Oh, we don't. We're not easily
like to
offended.
be offended.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fun.
Share your thoughts.
Share your thoughts. Talk to us. And once again, talk to us on Instagram. Talk to us on YouTube. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple.
Yes.
Also, if you ever want to send a private email, or you've got a story that you like, hey, just wanted to tell you guys this, maybe you can bring this up or something like that. support@mysticmidlife.com.
Yes.
No weird dots or anything like that in there. Just support at Mystic Midlife. Keep it simple. Support at mysticmidlife.com. I can't talk all of a sudden. But yeah, we'd love to hear some more stuff from you guys, really. Because all of us really have a lot in common. And if we start talking about this stuff openly, I think we'll find that, get a lot of comfort from it.
We'll find our togetherness.
Yes. We'll be happy little fairies dancing in the forest around a big bonfire, hopefully with no male sacrifice. Maybe.
Maybe.
I've thought about it.
But we hope you guys have, well, I guess when you see this, it will already have passed.
Hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day.
Whether you're a pet mom, a human mom, an auntie, missing a mom.
You mother all your friends.
Yeah.
You babysit them when they're drunk, or take care of them when they're sick.
The most important friend.
You create in some form or fashion, be that art or
birthing art.
Yes, all sorts of things. So we love you all.
Bye.
Happy Mother's Day. Bye.
Bye.